This, by the way, this effect, while you were talking about it, oh, I want to show this. So, this is why I'm playing it mainly. This effect right here is unbelievably cool. Like, it's unbelievably, impressive. And if I can, let's see if I can get some audio in here a little bit. Because you'll actually hear the reaction from guests when they actually see it, and I thought it was pretty. I thought it revealed just how good this effect actually was. So let me just see here.
You made it! I mean, of course you did.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I mean, if you can get a whole room full of people to synchronize at the same exact time, then that means you have their attention. That effect worked tremendously.
It works really, really well. When I saw this initially on, just on video, we decided to play a whole bunch of them in rapid succession on the 4K OLED TV out there. Big screen. It was awesome. It's kind of like being there, but when we saw this effect for the first time, I mean, my jaw dropped. I was like, whoa, how in the world did they do that? I actually had to reference another video just to ensure that it wasn't actually a cut.
A cut,
because that's what it kind of seemed like. But no, this stuff actually happens in real time. And I mean, I was really blown away by it. I guess how it works is you enter the center of the room. They tell you, kind of Haunted Mansion style, right? Go towards the center of the room and don't actually, lean on the walls or anything like that, right? And similar to the Haunted Mansion, but very quickly, the walls of the room lift up and out of the way, revealing the bigger room around you. And I just thought that was unbelievably cool how that was done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I kind of want to discuss with you, because OG had mentioned earlier about the quirkiness of Peter Quill and Star-Lord and everything. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the backstory for this too was he, as a child, visited EPCOT Center. And there's a section while you're waiting in the queue that he's being interviewed. And he talks about they add these little Easter eggs in it where he's like, oh, I can't wait to go back to EPCOT. I want to experience Horizons again. I want to see the dinosaurs at Universe of Energy. And I thought that was kind of cool.
You thought it worked well?
I think it. I think if I find it where Disney was kind of poking at themselves and also a little bit to the diehard fans, because I mean, for a true Epcot fan, they were playing taps when they got rid of Horizons, that was a beloved attraction. So I feel like they kind of did it in a subtle way where only a true diehard Walt Disney World Epcot fan would get, because a lot of people, if I was to go out to a random person right now and start singing the song Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit, I'm for sure they probably wouldn't understand what the heck I'm talking about. They'd want me committed, so but
dedicating, I guess some of the comments and critique about that specific scene is that you're doing these references in kind of an overt way that's a portion of this kind of pre-show element that might fly over a lot of people's heads.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely. Oh yeah. Okay. I got it right off. I got the reference right away, but again, I am a diehard Disney fan. I've been going to Epcot since I was a child. It was I get it, but a lot of people, and I think that's probably why they did it, because someone who may not understand it, but at least Disney knows it's there. They incorporated it in the script. And speaking of the script, I wanted to, especially you, because I know that you dive deep into film and everything just as much as I do, and it may just be me, but compared to when they did the filming for Mission Breakout over at DCA, I found that the script for that attraction was done very well, as far as with the Guardians themselves.
Yeah.
For this attraction, I found a little bit of the script for them a little bit lackluster compared to Mission Breakout. Is that just me?
I know I would agree with you. I think it reflects maybe the haste in which all this was put together. Because I mean, think about it, folks. This was announced in 2017, and then shortly thereafter, James Gunn has his issues, and so it kind of, you know, it kind of puts this whole thing kind of in a point of limbo for a little bit, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 3 gets pushed back, obviously, you know, because of not just that, but the circumstances surrounding the events of 2020. So it's like, you know, you're wanting to open this thing, right? But you know, at that all you know, elongated time period, it's like you know, how much more time do we have to play to kind of get this right? And I think they kind of came up against it when it came to time. And so I think some of the lines and some things were a little bit rushed. I think the actors themselves do pretty decently. Some of the other titular characters or whatever, maybe not so much. You know, it's the storyline's kind of hard to follow from what I understand when you're actually on the ride. And seeing it in video, I can definitely get that that criticism. I was just having a conversation with Showcase via DMs on Showcase of Wishes, our friend of the channel, on direct message on Twitter about, like, you know, certain story beats that he didn't even see when he wrote it, and I didn't even see on the first few viewings that I had, and just kind of going through and saying, oh, this happens here, this happens here, this happens here, and it's just like, wow, I didn't get that when I wrote it. So yeah, I can see that.
Well, and especially like with the lift hill, like in the very beginning, depending on where you're sitting,
Yeah.
if you're in the front seat, you kind of miss that last minute ending of dialogue between the Guardians, as to oppose someone that's in the back seat that'll see the full part of that sequence before you enter through the time warp. So I mean,
it's one of those things where, yeah, it could affect, you know, where you're actually seating. I think that might be a timing issue that they could overcome, maybe with a little bit more time and a little bit more, you know, a little bit more adjustment. But yeah, I mean, you know, you could kind of miss these things. From what I understand, even the music when you're on the attraction can blare over some dialogue segments that are very important, that kind of, you know, re-illustrate what you might be seeing on screen. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, I know Disney's kind of going this kind of route where it's like, oh, it's a storytelling coaster or whatever, and it's like, I mean, yes, you know, but barely. I mean, there are events that happen, but is it kind of a cohesive story with a start, middle, and end? I'm not sure. I you know, that seems sort of a stretch, simply because, you know, I given the speed of the coaster and how kind of crazy it can be, I don't know if it's necessarily the right format for that kind of approach. Some people were saying that maybe it should slow down in some segments to provide.
Yeah,
for that
sort
time.
of kind of like slow it down where you could actually visualize what's going on around you, and then it picks back up.
Right.
So, you know,